We are at the home stretch for completion of this game. We only got 2 more files to go. And they're both within Hal's little abode that we find ourselves into. So yeah, it's going to be file 10 today. I'm half expecting chapter 1 to be a while because I can see myself failing a bit of the red missions there, meaning I have to record it over and over again. Other than that, the sneaking section might take a while as well. But if you don't hear me complain about it in the voiceover, then I have not gotten any bed press. Enough preambles though. Two more files to go for completion. We are almost done with Act 2. This game has gone and went, and the completion, I still don't think it's that necessary. If you just want to play the game, beat the game, you'll be fine. You don't need to do any of the completion for this game, because though this game is good enough, I wouldn't see other people doing this. That's why I'm here though. Chapter 1 though, we're back to reading more papers, more articles about the details of what's been going on after our knockout from File 9. So if you want to pause and read any of these, go right ahead, because apparently to me, I read way too fast. So yeah, you can just do that. But honestly, going here and stating this, I will say that yes, the sneaking section did take me a while. It only took me like 2 attempts, because like Billy's past, you have to do it both in the sense of completion, so grab everything you can, and the ending part. But how I did it is that there's technically a cut in the final part of this file, or like the final part of of the sneaking section. Now, we'll point it out, but I did it for one reason, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, also one of the other funny things about this is that reading the red report, or the red case for the Raven's duty, you get to see that one of the gels was named Hades, and at this point in time, like currently when I've been playing through my own free time as well, I have not seen Hades. I don't know if that's a different type of gel enemy that I haven't taken a picture of in my own personal file, or if it's just one I missed. But like, yeah, I haven't seen a Hades yet for a slime enemy. But yeah, no, that's just everything else. Other than that, more in the sense that the first the second chapter, technically at this point, is long because a bunch of blue and red cases are there, and especially if you're doing them all on your first attempt, which is what I did when I first played this game, you'll be here for a while. So do be mindful that if you are going to go for everything on your first attempt, or as much as you can on your first attempt, you're going to be there for a while. Especially since that one, like only 1 or 2 of them are required for the story. Yeah, like 1 or 2, and then Hal's actual 1. Making it 3. So beauty. But other than that, no, we just have like 1 more file to do after this, and we are fine. I don't know, for me, you guys have been seeing me still change the colors, but I haven't been bringing them up as well. But I know the last 2 are military sets for the game, so we're right now in a different version of the military suit, which is really funny. And as you see, I'm basically in the having the civilian mask again to walk around. I wanted to base this off like we're working back in Zone 09 to not get any corruption, but also in the sense that since we're on the run, I wanted to just disguise myself. And that's the only thing I put though, so it's kind of funny but kind of cool. Anyway, other than that going on, you get to grab a couple more stuff to do as well. Also, I will honestly say this. I think back in a couple files ago, that I never upgraded my Legatus because I thought I was fully upgraded. And then I didn't figure that out until the last case of this game. So, yeah. Oh, I think it's this case, actually. Yeah, there you go. This is like the last thing I did. I finally upgraded this because I forgot it didn't happen, which made like no sense on why I've always had like 2 revives and not 3. So I got the achievement for the Legatus Master. And also, like, I went here to the Shy Vendor to go buy a couple things because I think this vendor is the only vendor in the game, other than I think one of the later ones, that gives you really good items to grab, especially if you're going for like S pluses and all that. So like the Francons on Fizz, Sweet Peach Soup, and the Gold Tea, all are really good because they all increase your attack, and well, at least the Gold Tea is that it raises your attack and defense while cutting your energy regain, and if you really need that for a last ditch effort, just drink it and then you'll go on forward doing more damage. If you don't have Power Charge set in your repertoire for some weird reason, having energy drinks like that, boosting up your attack and speed and all that, is really good. So don't forget about your drinkable items. Remember that you could just swap them out at any time for the cursor wheel, so that's good. You can just put anything you want there. The only like blue keys we can do now in Hal's hideout is the Lovesick Man, and this blue case here, there are multiple ways to solve it, quote unquote. So like basically there's no correct answer. The correct answer I put, or the answer I put, is still my personal favorite to this day, but there are other answers you can pick. So excuse me. Basically, the Lovesick Man wants something to woo to like woo Olive. So basically just go around asking all the people here in the area to ask for advice, ask like advice for a gift and all that. And it's very funny that Hal even gives an advice of a diet drink, because you're saying that you're health conscious and all that, but I don't think that's how it works. So yeah, every answer you give here is the answer you can give to the Lovesick Man, and yeah, go have fun with that. I don't know if the vendors give you a an answer, but I know that any people who are just like walking around can give you an answer. So Hal, the two people outside in the first floor, the Dandy Man up on the second floor, and if you want, you can talk to a couple people outside the area, like outside the area, as well, to see if they can give advice. But usually I just stick to the ones in here, so you don't go out. But have fun. Any answer you pick is technically the correct one, and you will solve the case. So yeah, just pick the one that you think is funnier, or pick the one that you want to think is the right choice. There are no wrong answers here. Go buck wild. For me, I just picked the Lovely Flowers because when the first time I did it, it was very funny. I'll just like probably. You guys can actually see it here as well, where the Lovesick Man actually went to Olive and handed him a bouquet of flowers that was actually a pile of weeds. Very funny. Either way, the guy gets shot down, so it doesn't matter what you choose. But yeah, pick any answer you want, see which one's your favorite, see which one you're gonna be picking over and over again. I didn't go through the hassle of putting all the answers in because that would be a lot longer for this, and this episode without that, especially with the 2 recordings of the sneaking file, is long enough. So that's why I didn't do it. Anyway, just look around here. basically, this angry man here says that there is a treasure trove in one area for a specific group and all that, and he got beat up trying to find it, but he didn't find a single G anywhere. So he thinks that they buried it somewhere, and I would say keep that in the back of your mind, because that is a hint towards the buried items in this part. So do keep in mind that that is your only hint to find it. So yeah. This blue case here is that we're supposed to take a key to another man that is down the block next to a storage area, and try to get this early. You can get this early, and then you can do the rest of the cases before. So it's like something you can just grab and forget until you meet the guy again. So that's pretty much it. This cat lover here is missing their cat, and we're just trying to go around trying to find the cat and all that. Now we get to split up with her, and we get to find this cat. And actually, if you do find this cat, this is the cat rescue for this chapter. Or yeah, this chapter technically. So we help this lady find her cat in the 3 marked areas on the map. Excuse me. So yeah, we just have to go to the 3 areas, see if there's any cats there, and going off of like what has happened before and stuff like that. You know, like what has happened before and like context clues and shit like that. I feel like we are kind of guessing that this people or the cats in the like an astral plane, I'm guessing, since cats always have corruption when we find them, so we can't technically have them as a pet. We're just gonna ignore Carlos there, because that's another red case we have to do, and we're already on 1. So let's have some fun. The first area of where the cat would have gone is, well, basically behind us. But I'm just trying to grab some other stuff here. But yeah, technically the first area where the cat was is near the ladder. And that's a good starting place to see where the cat has gone and all that. You just have to basically dig up anything on the ground and all that. Also, I can't carry any more minis. Once you find the nibbled cat food from one of the 3 dig spots from the 3 areas, you just track it with your Beast Legion to move forward, and surprise, surprise, you get to go towards another astral plane, as if this thing hasn't happened before. But yeah, and other than that, I know I had to show 2 cases, or a case twice for 2 answers, because one of them is the correct answer for a photo order in the next chapter, or the next file, and the other one is just if you want to complete it. But I showed both answers because, well, yes, because I need to get the I need to set in place the thing for the next file. So that's just how it's gonna work. Anyway, back to the tracking. We just have to keep on following it. I know for me and Hal's or File 10 in general, it was very fun to do, and said it in the previous files recording, or yeah, the previous files like completion, when I was talking about one of the cases there. This case, or this file, also has a case that is only unlocked when everything has been done. So keep that in mind if you want to find it. If you're missing one, you'll understand why you missed it, because you didn't look around after doing every other case. And again, my 360s do not want to come out. They're just coming out as delayed. There we go. So yeah, and stated previously as well though, if you already did every case but missed that one case, and that was the case that you needed to do after completing the entirety of, or yeah, the entirety, like all the cases in the chapter, it'll be available to you like right off the bat. So you can use that to your advantage too. You can kind of do that. Anyway, Just going here for the Lost Cat search. This is just another basic Astral arena with enemies. Just beat them up with sync attacks and as fast as you can. Very funny that I got knocked up even though I have a shield. So yeah, have fun with this and same old, same old. No new enemies spawn from here. Just two, I think a Fire Falcon and the mini one, and then the Halo and the mini one. There's the cat. Just walk up to the cat, rescue it, and we're done with its entire red case. Very simple. And I think this is one of the only few cases where the cat always respawns. Like, I think to do and all that, but you don't get the same message of, oh, you rescued this cat, so... Yeah, I think it was like one of the... Like, the only or one of the few cases where a cat is involved, and you can do it over and over again, because the one for Mia is, like, replayable, since that is a blue case, but that you don't rescue Mia in that case. And the one for Mike back in file 8, file 8, as soon as you rescue that cat, it disappears and Mike is talking about something else. Also, this woman here, I talk to her because she has like a little detail about beware of the fog, like it's Persona 4 all over again. But she is required for a case later on, and I will give you the alert that she is like required, or she is the one who gives you the case when every other case has been completed. So do be mindful of that. If you see nothing, if you see nothing to do, or you have nothing else to do, go to that lady or try to walk around, see if you're missing that one case. But right now I'm just trying to find everything else here in the area. There is a little red mark here we can grab to find a good old Astral plane. Good old Chimera analysis. Also, it's very funny that the empty cans have the silhouette of a grenade, which is why I tried to grab it. But since they say empty can, I can't carry any more empty cans. I do have the maximum of 99 cans. Into this Astral arena we go back with some speedsters. So this is gonna be a fun one to do. Just blocking up a blue shield so I don't get hit, and then getting them in the perfect area to well, do them, but I've just been doing perfect dodge calls. So those are good. And that's all my blue shields down. Other than this one, like this Astral investigation, since these enemies are too weak for us to do that much sync attacks other than dodging, just focus on time on this one. Once you knock all of them out, you do get a brand, I don't think a brand new enemy, but you get like a round 2 will show up. Where you get Elias and a flying type shield. Also, what's very funny is that apparently I hit both of them with a howl, but they both didn't get stunned. That's great. But yeah, no, we just have to deal with this flying shield enemy. Get him out, and then we could just deal with Lias on our own. A very simple enemy, but since these enemies are too weak, especially for how far we are into this game and how upgraded we are, just focus on time. And you'll be fine. Focusing on sync attacks as well, especially the dodge and perfect counters, will also help you out. So gets us out from round 2, and we get one more round since it says 60%. Say hello to Typhon. Typhon is a power type enemy that uses the ability of good old electricity. So now that we have dealt with Enceladus in the previous chapter, or yeah, the previous file, we have to deal with a electric type enemy, and that's gonna be a fun one to do, especially since it's electric. Best bet is, said it before, blue shield to block some attacks, anti-stun if you just really do not want to, like, if you don't want to fuck with his mechanics. Slow shot also will benefit a lot because it makes his attack slower. Either from slow shot or slow attack as a sub for your main attacks. Other than that though, he's a pretty tanky boss, or yeah, pretty tanky enemy, so be careful. Also, this shot here, that just tanked the frame rate in my opinion, is also kind of annoying, and I would honestly say, I think the first time I actually tried to use the Legion Shield, yeah, like the X Legion Shield, to defend it, and I got to the point where all of the energy for that just disappeared. Not in an instant, but it just disappeared, and I was very funny when it happened. I'm just sort of like, alright, don't use it again. There you go. As you saw, he does a lot of shots, and that just tanks your limiter. So be careful with that, and just have the X Legion do it normally, and move the X Legion into position instead of us doing damage. Nearing the end of this fight, so we just gotta do a couple more spin cycles. I'm just sad that my my Arrow Legion got knocked out from a hit rush, so no more free damage. Also, that sound does get a little bit jarring and it's irritating after a while. But with that enemy down, we get to finish that Astral investigation. Good amount of damage. Now we get to do the whole defective detector thing, and that's always after doing like 2 cases, either red and blue, blue and red, double red, all blue, doesn't matter what. I think it's like, I always say 2 to 3 outs, or I always say 2 outside, because we did do the Lovesick Man inside. I think if you remember in the LP, we didn't do 2. We didn't do Lovesick Man. I think we only did like 2 of them. So that was pretty simple. Anyway, to the surveyor here, he wants to do some measurements, but he forgot his measuring tools at home. But since we have the iris here, we can actually keep a distance from him, and since the whole like marker does not go away when we're doing cases, technically we can use that to our advantage to help him measure. And it's really funny how that works. But we just go to each of these circles, see what the distance is from our position to him. We go back to him and speak, and we just give him the correct answer. And basically, if you're 1 off, it's the one that is closer to your number. So the first one is 15, but you guys saw 14. So yeah, the next one we have to go onto the crate there and just see the distance. You just turn on your iris again, walk around, see that you're not missing any position, and just go back to him. 17 to 18 meters is what I saw, and that's the first answer, 18. Now the last one is kind of fun because you have to find the distance between 2 points. So basically you gotta do some basic math here. You go to the farthest one, give your proper way, 22 meters, and then you go to the closest one, which would be around 8 meters, and then you just do 22 minus 8, which I think is 14. So just talk to him after doing your basic math and you'll be fine. You can get these wrong, it doesn't matter. So if you just want to speedrun it, just mash the A button, you'll be fine. And the numbers don't change. So like once you do this once and get all of the answers correct, they never change. They're always the same. There's always 15, 18, and 14. It's always those 3 numbers. after doing the Surveyor's blue case, you can actually go up the ladder and go forward to find a chest here. So don't leave without going up the ladder again. So it's all hunky-dory there. Now we actually can go back to where Carlos was, where I left them hanging. And, yeah, look at the dog. He's a good man. Yeah, now we can go back to Carlos.
The visages of my compatriots in justice, all so vivid as they flash before my eyes. Could this be the end of Carlos Kagioka? Oh, well, I suppose my end is not yet to come. To think, spared by a fugitive from justice. In exchange for saving my life, I will turn a blind eye to your lawlessness. This once. If you will not go, then I must. I bid you farewell, as justice must be done.
So after Carlos has been, left us behind because he doesn't want us to help him, especially since we're a fugitive, he leaves behind his Exciton onwards to a fight, and that's not a good idea. So we just give the scent to our Beast Legion, and then the Beast Legion is going to tell us where to go to follow Carlos. And I will say this, so this is the case that I had to do twice because to get both of the quote-unquote endings to this case. Since there's 2 endings to this case, we have to do that. Also because it's very funny that we can skip this case, like the defective detector. We can skip that outright. Basically, to start that case, you just have to start fixing the detector and you'll be fine. Once we get to this part here, we get to go into a little fight, so get ready.
What are you doing here? There's danger afoot. Quickly, be off with you. Oh, once again, I am in your debt. This turns the tide in favor of the law.
This first part here is very simple. Get everyone in a house state and then just do a spin cycle. I didn't do it in this part because stated before, my goddamn buttons do not, or my stick does not love doing 360 input. So I just did the normal route where I just beat them normally. Also, it's very funny that Carlos, when he's fighting with us, has the voices of male Akira. So that's very funny.
You're that weirdo cop from before. What's your problem anyway?
You there! Come along quietly.
Time to follow Carlos. So yeah, now Carlos has been abducted into the Astral plane, and now we have to find him. Very funny. But yeah, him and the clan boss leader both got taken by a brand new winged enemy, so we have to deal with that. Also, this area does have some chests, so don't forget it. I say that because I had to re-record this thing 3 times because I forgot one item. And yeah, don't be like me and go up the stairs again. I love open areas and I love playing like open world or open world games like Odyssey, Xenoblade, the small time I played Breath of the Wild as well, and Legend of Arceus. I love when games are open world and open to me to just fuck around. but I do have a problem of just going back the same way I went forward. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to LP those games, but I need to find a good mix of completion and exploration. And yeah, no, the whole basic premise of this is that the different platforms are back, so we have to platform our way towards the end. And this S rank is not that bad either. We just have to do the same old, sync attacks, having fun, doing our Legion skills, doing the whole 9 yards for that. And after this fight here with the double Liuses, we actually do get a cutscene with our main man. So I will just like leave it. Like after this fight ends, where I'm just gonna not talk for a bit, because this entire case in general is one of the few that are voice acted. I know most of Carlos's like cases are voice acted, which I find very cool. And I think other than like the Neuron officers in File 8, File 4, yeah, File 8 and File 4, File 7 and all that, it's very cool to see more officers and more characters getting a voice and all that. But I feel like, what was it? Carlos Kajioka, I feel like is voiced by Kaiji Tang. Because I feel like Kaiji's not one of the few characters, but like he's a character that I can, yes, Kaiji Tang is a...
What is this place? Never mind that. Finding that fiend is my foremost concern now. Thus, I humbly, once again, ask for your aid.
And then, yeah, I'm literally saying Kaiji Tang is a character. God, I want to tweet that at him so bad, but I don't use my Twitter for anything. But yeah, I feel like Kaiji Tang is like the only person, one of the few people in voice acting, from like what I've heard, that does characters like that. He's the voice of like Odin, Dark, and Fire Emblem Fates. The voice of oh god, I was gonna say Ichinose. God, what was the name of the character in Yakuza 7 and 8? No, I don't think... if it is Ichinose, I'm gonna kick myself, but I don't think it's Ichinose. He's the voice of Detective Pikachu. I know he's the voice of Gojo and the dub for JJK, so... Like, he does play characters that are just like that. Not flamboyant, but... exude a fucking aura, as I like to call it. He's also Alan, so, that's funny. Anyway, onward towards our progression, we have 2 other areas where we have to deal with our, the explosion blocks. That's gonna be fun. Ow. And there's a chest behind this one here, so that's the reason why I went here in the first place, to grab this chest. And also, don't forget that, or I will say this, don't forget, because, after you blow up this, chain of explosions, or I know I put it in here, but I don't know if it's saved, because my editor, like my editing program, has crashed a couple times when I'm doing some of these editing, especially if I'm exporting. Okay, there, it did show. Don't forget that there is a hidden item or a buried item on the block here, so that's the only other buried item in this case. Then the one we were talking about with that one eavesdrop, so don't forget that one. Excuse me. But yeah, we get to have some fun with this. We're almost nearing the end of this case, by the way, so we just get to open up the area and finish it. This has been a lot of fun to do, especially since this is Carlos's first like adventures within the astral plane. So this is being pretty cool. Blow up the last one, and we get to go towards an arena for our fight. Also, it's very funny that I ran backwards and Carlos ran east. or west into the wall. No matter what. That was really funny. I didn't expect that to happen. Once we get towards the clan boss, we get to see our brand new enemy sneak up behind us. Good old Artemis. Another one of the arrow type enemies that will disappear on us, and this one does disappear on us, so do keep that in mind. I know Hecate and Callisto did not do that, so it's pretty funny. Also, Artemis really loves to disappear. Anytime it gets a chance to disappear, it will disappear. So the best way to fight in this fight is to just keep your Beast Legion out, howl at any point you can, but just usually keep your Beast Legion in to do damage. You could try any other Legion if you want. You could do a slow shot after a howl to keep it in place longer, but mostly just keep your Beast Legion out, and whenever you're on solid ground, send your Beast Legion at it to do damage like that. Very annoying fight to do, but since this is the only other fight to do in this segment, go for style, go for points, go for Legion skills. I don't know if you need it unscathed in the first fight to do it, but I know that they don't carry over. I think it's like one of the only cases that, or one of the only fights that count for this case, so let's go. Anyway, let's just go on. Done. Get to the Artemis, and we are done. Case has been adjourned. Also, once we're done, we gotta go back to Carlos, but me being me, I wanted to see if I did miss anything, so I thought they didn't let you go back, but they do, so I don't know how far you're allowed to go back in this part, because I didn't want to stray too far. But if you did miss it, but you have this much space, see if you can go back and collect that one item, that one buried item that I missed, that I had to re-record for. Also, I love this little thing though. Once you're done with the Artemis fight though, there are a couple more chests to collect though. There is this one disappearing platform part where you have to jump to and not miss the elevator like I did. And that has the last chest for this case, so don't forget it. It's a very good scene, not a very good scene, a very pretty thing for the Astral plane. And if I didn't use the thumbnail I was using for this episode, I would have used just this picture here of the Astral plane. Looks really good. Anyway, I just jumped off the cliff so I can go back to the restore point, which is here after the fight. So just take the damage, tank it, just go back.
With your abilities, we can take our leave of this place, yes? Then let's be off. And you there, come along peacefully.
No, I'm not going anywhere with you, freak.
The audacity! Surely, leaving him here would serve the greater good. But no, an officer of the law cannot abandon a citizen in need, however dastardly he may be. Alas, I find myself in need of your moral guidance.
The first option is to just take him in.
Finally, my chance to expose these fiends. The sinister shall prey no more. But I must say, without your help, none of this would have come to fruition. Officers like you are rare indeed. Are you sure you won't return to the fold? I suppose that's a pointless question. Do what you must, my friend.
And with that, that is done with that case. Instead of you say to leave him here, you do get another dialogue option and set up the photo order for the next file.
One question for you. Am I not your brother in justice? You should not have hid your awesome power from me, nor your noble struggle to protect the common people. If only I had such power as yours, such clarity of purpose. My choice sits ill at ease with me. Was it truly the choice most becoming of an officer of the law? Perhaps it's best if I seek a new vocation. What? Come to your hideout? I can see there's adventure in that. Yes. Yes. It's settled then. I'll do as you say and join your band. I'll tender my resignation, then make way with you to your hideout.
And yeah, that's how you get the... That's how you set up for the photo order in the next file. I didn't do that on my first attempt because I actually forgot how to get the photo order. So that's what happened. But yeah, I remembered about it and I just wanted to record it so you guys can see the difference. So yeah, now we get to finish the blue case that we got very early into the chapter, where we just have to give this guy the storage key. He has everything and we are done with this blue case. Pretty simple blue case. It's just that I always love getting it early because we do pass by here when the other cases take us here. Couple more red matter to collect, and I know that one of the other cases in this is kind of funny. And I'm trying to remember what happened here, but no. I think I missed one of the chests, but I'm thinking of a different one. This fashion man is saying that a lot of people are disappearing, and he wants to help out, and well, he has a feeling that there's nothing normal around here. So basically we just take out our Legion. We take out our Legion, we just go to where we were before, actually, with all that red matter. Analyze the Chimera tracks, and it will spawn right in front of him. So he just does the normal thing and just run away, which fine. We go inside the Astral plane, and it's an arena type one, a weird arena type one, but an arena, an Astral arena. And that's how I've always been dubbing these. If it's like a normal like area where we can walk around, find chests and all that, I always call it the Astral plane, because that's just how it is normally. It makes sense not to deviate from the norm of the name. But if it's like only one part of the map where we have to fight, and there's only enemies who show up, then it's an Astral arena. If you want to use that for your own times using this game, that's fine, go ahead. But anyway, as you saw, this is the one case that I thought in a previous file we could have fought this enemy. If you thought that Cryos was only going to show up in that one case in file 9 and never show up again for a picture, no, he shows up in an Astral or in a Chimera search red case for file 10. So this is your only time to capture a picture of Cryos, so don't forget about this case, get the picture of Cryos, and get your very good catharsis of beating him normally without a gun in hand. Also, very surprised he did a shoulder bash and didn't hit the Air Legion. The only bad part about this Astral Arena is that the superior platforms are here, so do take your time about that, but also be very, very, very careful about what you do. Honestly, I always use a lot of hit rush because since I have 2 legions with hit rush, they don't demand a lot of stuff. How also really helps a lot, especially with Cryus's rushing attack and his I think he does his laser as well. That's like, well, that's another move he can do, but that's like very late into this fight with Cryus. Also, he is very tanky, so do remind yourself about that he is an ARM enemy, so they do have a lot of HP. Cryus down, and then we get to fight 2 new enemies. They don't have a name, but they're human-type enemies. And their whole MO is that they are freeze. There are like ice-type enemies. The guide I use for every completion, they call it freeze or ice maidens, which I will be using. It's a very good name. So these ice maidens are very annoying because, well, other than being ice elements, I think one of them is ice and the other one is a shield. And they will give shields to each other to prolong the fight. The Iceman is only here to stall for time, and if you don't take care of the shield from the Shield Maiden, you will be in trouble. So priorities are always take the medic out, take the support out, then the main dish. But I took out the ice one because I did not want to be stuck frozen forever. Oh, that Chimera search is done. Simple S+. Just go for skills. Go for variety. Don't go for time. I thought I heard the video being corrupted for a bit. No, that's just how the game is. Okay. Being paranoid for no reason. Anyway, onwards towards another part, and I know I read the guide a lot during these parts, so I don't get lost. I find all the items, and I can minimize the amount of just blind running around. Like blind, not following, blind exploration to a minimum, because since I'm calling these like all completions, I rather have them be as concise and on point as I want them to be. But also that if you can see me figure these out in real time, so you guys can also see that these are just me doing it. Also, from what I'm reading on the guide, is that there's a couple things I'm missing, and I don't know how to grab it, and then I know later on I find it. The reason why I have the Arrow Legion is because I have to find a button, shoot it down, and it'll knock down a ladder. And it didn't take me a while to find this, but other than that, it's more in the sense that I just couldn't see. So, just knocking that button over to knock over the ladders towards our progression is what we need to do now. There's a chest up there and a blue shifting man where he's resting, but just blue shift him. You get the points, and then there's just a chest on the top here. All these material codes are really good for us upgrading, so yeah. I'm back to reading the guide, seeing if I'm missing anything else. I know I'm missing 1 or 2 chests in the area, so I'm just looking around. And what do you call it? I just took the chance here to start working on this red case. And if you remember, this is the one case where we have to defend the point from chimeras. And what I do is that I just have the Legion do all the attacking by just calling it in and out. And always start off with a howl to keep the enemies in place to give yourself more time. And then after that, the Legion will take the rest. Try to do this unscathed so you don't have to worry about it. Just worry about you focusing on that. You can take your hands off the repair if you want to work on dealing damage to the enemy so they don't hit you. And that's what I did here, that I just took out, didn't take any damage. Binded them and then just take them out normally. So yeah, try to not get hit during the segment, you'll be fine. After that, I just went back to repairing and had the Legion work on the Chimera. You can not get to if you want, but have fun. There's only like 3 rounds of enemies you can deal with. I think there's always a 4th one as well if you take very, very long, but simple to do, taking it easy, just don't get hit.
Okay, there.
Now that we're done with this red case, you also remember that there's another red case we can do, which is the fight with the Hydra. I almost said the Lami. I think that's a different enemy. Or I'm just thinking of a different thing.
Information display. Down.
So, after reading the guide before doing this case, it said that one of the chests was on some crates. So I went back here because this is the only time where you can jump onto crates, and I know I missed it and I couldn't see it, but it is on that staircase. I will see it later on though, so don't worry about it. Anyway, the only other cases we're missing are, I think, like 1, 2...
Information display.
Yeah, like 1 more like story-related quest, and then just 2 more, like 1 blue, 1 red case. And then after that, we get to do all of the remaining case here in chapter 1, and then go for the fun part of good old completion. Anyway, got the chest. Felt dumb at that point. Reading the map here to see what I'm missing. Only like 3 cases. Yeah, 3 cases to do, and then the story-related quest as well to move on the story. But yeah, 53% on the Red Matter Collector is really good though. That's only meaning a couple more before that. Anyway, basically though, if you want to move more faster in these areas, go on the Beast Legion, you'll be fine. And at this point, I was correct. I was missing 1 chest as well. Reading the guide said that there's a shutter that is taking the place of like a Hermit's Lair, and you just grab that. This is the only chest in this segment, so remember that there is a shutter you can go through, and it has an eye patch for us. Pretty cool. Excuse me. But yeah, we have to move on forward towards the remaining cases. They're like near the southern part of the map. Another ladder to be shot down for us. Had the arm apparently. Knock it down, and we get to go up the stairs for another chest there. So, very cool. Anyway, going on like a tangent besides this stuff here. What was it? I do know by the time these videos are coming out, I usually have at least 1 video for completion in stock. So when the next video comes out for completion, or like the next video comes out in general for the LP, I have one in the background already uploaded and shit like that. So I don't have to remind myself to upload the next video. But this video and the next video are like the last ones for Act 3. I have to start doing the Act 3 recordings because, surprise, surprise, I still gotta do voiceovers for those. I would love to do live commentary for that, but after a while, when I have to do Act 3, it's gonna get annoying to do live commentary. First parts, I can do live commentary because they're simple, easy, and they're like an introduction toward each of the area. But after that, it becomes more in a sense of it becomes a hassle and more of a chore, not a chore to keep commentary. It's like what streaming does when you do something monotonous. More in the sense that if you're doing Astral Chains Act 3, I'm still not saying what it is until we get to there. But if anyone who has played Astral Chain and are watching this video, hi, hello. You guys, if anyone who has played Astral Chain, you know what Act 3 is. Because after a while, it does get annoying. And it's the reason why during Act 3, I'm going to be posting another LP. Hope you guys enjoy that LP when it comes out, though. Because it is fun to me. I know it's going to be fun to you guys. But anyway, after taking out all the poison generators and getting that one chest, there are only 2 chests in this area to collect. And once that we're done with collecting those 2 chests, we can, what do you call it? We can go towards that one blue circle on the map, and that blue circle there is just taking a fresh air, where basically you just talk to him. He's complaining about all the poison generators that are here, and he wants to find a way to stop the gas. And it's a pretty simple case to do, just destroy all the poison generators and we'll be done. But that guy's not done yet. It doesn't show up now. You have to do another case for it to happen, for a screen transition to happen. Either like another case or just something else in general. But he will have another case for us, and it doesn't show until we do a case that puts us in a transition. And this is not the case where we have to wait for everything. Don't worry about it. Going down here towards the sewer before meeting Olive, actually. If you come here before Olive, she doesn't force you to do anything. As soon as you talk to Olive, you'll be forced into the next chapter. So you can come here early, or you can do it when Olive is just here. But there's a dropped item inside the tunnel. There's also a dropped item above next to the vendor. You just have to use a ladder to grab it. So also don't forget about that one. 2 items also down. And other than that, there's like 2 more cases we get to do. Oh, there it is. We got 2 more cases to do. We get the one case where I shot a grenade at the people, if you remember that time, if you remember that back in the LP. And the brand new case I was talking about, where you have to finish some fresh air to grab it. Basically, you can walk up to the turf and not be bothered by it. You just have to grab the Astral Matter here. There's also just a chest across from there. Just grab it, you'll be fine. You can also just jump back to where we were. This case, if you remember that you just have to walk on this person's turf. Just get it unscathed, you'll be fine. And your best bet is always a grenade. Just be careful, because the only reason why I put a blue shield in general is because I've done this before where I never had a blue shield and I've always got a pot shot. I've always gotten pot shotted. And it always ruins my S+. So I always put a shield as a safety measure before doing anything. Anyway, going on what that guy said, is saying that there is buried, like something buried here. Judging with the Beast Legion, you get to see that there are buried items here, buried spots, and these do they both coincide with the buried items for our completion. There are 3 in this area. So we already got 2 of them. We just need 1 more, and that's it. Only 4 buried items in this file. 3 here, and then the 1 in the gang's all here. Just get those, and you're done with the buried item collection. And the reason why it says 3 is because, well, as I said before, I forgot one. That's all 4 collected. We're fine. This blue case here is called Drifting Apart, and basically after you get the old spot, the old hideout open, we just have to go around to each of the areas to find this guy's friends. And he gives us the keywords for where they would be. 1 is near the 10, so that is near the beginning of the map. 1 is in high up places, and if you remember that one guy I talked to trying to find that one chest, that's the guy. And then the 3rd one is near dogs. It's somewhere with dogs, and if you remember me stopping the camera for the dog, that's where that guy is. No, I did not plan that, because I didn't even put focus on the 2nd guy, or on the 1st guy. So very funny that 2 of them, unintentionally, I gave them screen time. So what happens? So basically you just have to go around to each of the areas, find the guy's friends, and I think after you find the 3rd guy, you can find him in any order, but after you find the 3rd guy, you will be sent back to the hideout. Yeah, the first one I always grab is the guy in the high places. Because, well, he's just here. The second guy is with the dogs, and if you forgot where he was, it's basically in the area where we saw Carlos just on the ground. So, do you remember that? You'll be fine. Also, riding the Beast Legion on scaffolding is kind of annoying. So I'm just opening up the iris to see if there's any other people. Reading the map is very good in this part because we get to see where we're going. Other than that, we just need to find the rest. Sorry. After this blue case and the actual required case for How, that's everything completed, and then we get to go back and do the one case after. We just found the dog lover. Now we have to go all the way back to the beginning of the area where the tents are. Also, my ear like detected that ding for a dig spot, and I'm just like, oh no, that's just the actual dig spot. Basically, if you want to know who the person is that they were talking about, it's that guy, the lonely guy next to the barrel of fire. So, after you find the third guy, it doesn't matter who, you'll be sent back here to the concerned man, and you won't lose that much progress. Very simple case to do, and a very actual real case finish because it just hits close to home for me. But yeah, now we get to go back to doing house case, which is fighting the hydras in the dump. Also, something here in I wouldn't say Zone 09, but this is just, I think it's just called Hal's Hideout. There are a couple archives and subject logs you can find where they can be like for location. There's one for the dumps, one for Hal's Hideout, one for the view outside Hal's Hideout, and that's it. So if you want to get those pictures, you can get them in this chapter or this file or in the next file. I think I got a couple in the next file, so that'll be funny. Now that we're here in this red case, or this case in general, we get to have some fun. We just have to go close to this person.
Who the hell are you?
And you already know what to do at this point.
It doesn't matter.
We just have to, I try to do another perfect call, but I'm just too jittery, too trigger happy. Just bind them up, we'll be fine.
I can't believe it was just...
And we get to fight the Lamias after this.
Okay.
Let's have some fun with Hydras. The Hydras are not that bad. They're like one of the... I don't know what their type of enemy is. I think they're called like serpent enemies. Because, well, they're shaped like snakes. Also, if you have been... What the... I thought this tongue was a head for a minute. What the hell? Anyway. With that out of the way, I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but most of these enemies are being named after different types of mythologies. Or different types of things based on, like, different mythologies. The frogs are all named after, like, Greek mythos, so Poseidon... No, I don't think Poseidon's here. But you saw Hades, and one of them was Zeus before as well. The other one here, we got Hydras, Callisto. I know you heard me something about Lamia, but I just think that's a different game as well. Pygmalion, Casterius, Astello. Stuff like that. It's very funny that most of these enemies are named after some types of different mythos.
Look.
I don't know if they're actually based on the mythos or just stuff from other areas like Greek, Roman, and stuff like that. But if they are, that's really fucking cool that the enemies, the more powerful ones, are named after the mythos of old. But yeah, after we're done with this case, we just got to go back, and you guys remember the Olive situation where we just see Olive in our peripheral. I say peripheral, but like the camera makes us focus on her. So yeah.
Well, I got bad news and worse news.
Other than that, once you get the go to go meet up with Olive, open up your map. and look if you have anything else missing. Bad medicine was I think one of the few cases that you can get right now after doing this case, because there are cases that you can get only after doing certain parts of the main story quest. So bad medicine is one of them. Basically, you just walk up to here. The doctor, being a capitalist, doesn't want to give out handouts doesn't want to give out handouts for free. He wants the money to save because he's running a business and all that. But basically, since it's just a case of shifting, you just blue shift the person on the couch. Simple blue case to do, and we are done. Other than that, we were missing like one more case in chapter 1. And after that save icon, we can just look up on the map to see where we're going. And the reason why I'm talking to this lady again is because I thought that once we're done with that case, we have to talk to the lady. But if you see on the map, right there, that is our last case for chapter 1, Lost in the Fog. To find Lost in the Fog, we have to go back to where we first did Defective Detector. Once we get there, the rest of the case will show out, and God, I love it. I just feel like it's a giant Persona 4 reference, though. And there we go. We saw something in the fog, but we don't know what. And that anxious woman that we talked to before is here to talk with us. She knows that there was a lot of fog here, but we couldn't see a thing. If somebody or something was there, it would have been on the prowl. Basically, this anxious woman already knows about the fog, which is why she's always been saying, be careful of the fog. There's been rumors going around this entire establishment that once the city has been enveloped in fog, someone goes missing. And for a couple days, since that fog has rolled in, people have been going missing in this little area. Especially one of them was this girl's fiance. So basically we have to go and search for the fog. And you can start doing the fog at any point. So if you want to restock on medicine and shit like that, go ahead. Just talk to the anxious woman again, and you'll be doing the case. Now that the fog is here, we get to explore the fog to our heart's content, making it like the beginning of Persona 4. I'm making a lot of Persona 4 references and like that, but I always see it as a Persona 4 thing. I know fog can be in any other game, but I know the fog was just a giant part of Persona 4. And since we're in the fog here, some new enemies show up. And these enemies do have a Collectopedia entry. And for me, I started autopiloting during this part, so don't worry, I actually do stop autopiloting. I do notice that I'm doing this shit way too early. And take a picture of them. And these enemies, technically they don't get a name. Later on they do get a name. But I always call them mini foxes because though they're beast enemies, they are mostly like the shape and size of foxes. So I always call them the fox type chimeras. Just dealing with the rest. There's just one more here. Take them out. And we get to get towards the main part of this case. The one that is have its tail blinking is the unique one among them. After doing enough damage to it, he'll start running away. Follow the one with the blinking tail, and you'll be getting through the main part of this case. I actually screwed up in this part, in this recording, and followed the wrong one because I looked at they're both going the same direction. And I didn't see the tail flash, so I went the incorrect direction. But follow the one that is being there. I know for me, I had to go down the ladder because the game does not let you jump off the goddamn ladder, which is the dumbest fucking decision in this game. Which made me lose it, but I saw the flash. And then I went to the wrong direction where the confused man was. Or the concerned man was. So we get lost. And once you get lost, you have to, the fog is just disappeared. And you get another chance of doing it. So basically, whenever you're doing this case, I would say always try to get it on your first attempt. Try to get to the farthest you can with the fog. Because I don't think the exploration of the fog will dictate your S+ rank. And basically you don't have to refight the foxes again before doing it. They're already putting you in the follow sequence of this case, so don't worry about it. So now we just get to follow the fox this time, and I don't fuck it up this time. I actually do follow it to the end. So that's a cool thing. Also, we get to see some aberrations show up from I don't know if it's past victims of this fog stealing thing or something else, but we just have to keep following it to the end. We are, I think, nearing the end of this part. Almost lost it there though. Once we get to where a bunch of the conglomerate of the enemies come up, we are near the end, so keep on going forward. You can attack him if you want, but I would strongly recommend to not. We basically go in a giant circle back to the middle where the defective detector was. The fox gives out a howl to its compatriots, and well, I'll let the rest of the cutscene speak. Telmessen. I don't know how they said it, but this is the actual enemy when combined make the form. This beast chimera is an electric oriented chimera, and I always give it the name Ninetails because it is fused with very varying amounts of tails. I think it's 9 tails. That's why I always call it the Ninetails. But yeah, I don't know if it's like based on actual like mythology or actually like based on mythos for this, but basically the howl for this enemy causes a bunch of electricity to rain down from the sky, calling its compatriots and stunning you. So do be careful of that, and that's why I've always been using stun grenades to keep it stuck there, because it is very good to just keep them stuck there. Also, these little mini Thespians, Thespians are already the same ones we already got a picture of, so don't worry about that. Once we destroy the big one, the big baddie, the fog disappears, and we get an item on the ground for us to collect. Collect the item, and we get the worn wedding ring. We just have to take that back to the anxious woman, and we are done with this case. We are literally at 1 hour and 14 within recording, and we are technically done with chapter 2. This is how long this case takes. This is how long this chapter takes. And we're not even at the sneaking section yet. This is funny. But yeah, no, this is just how it works. We got our S+. Focus on sync attacks, focus on just doing attacks in general, you'll be fine. Don't worry if you get lost in the first couple of times. I don't think it values that much for S+ if you're getting on your first attempt. I always try to get on my first attempt to just speed up the process, but other than that, have fun, go for syncs, go for attacks, just do it in a fast manner and you'll be fine. Anyway, that was the last case we had to do. I just opened up the map again later on to see if we missing anything, but that was the last case we had to do.
What are you doing here?
And we get to move on towards chapter 3.
You, huh? Well, but
Anyway,
all right.
once you get the thing for Olive, well, yeah, once the
I'm ready
back
to
to
go right
Olive,
now.
we get to
Are
move
you?
on. So, we get to move on towards chapter 3 of this, and that means we get to go through the sneaking section of this case. I will say this, chapter 3, a sneaking section is its own recording I had to do, just like Bailey's Fast. But if you thought the sneaky section would have nothing related to items and cases, you are dead wrong. There are 3 red cases to do within this red case. I'm not joking.
Hang on. I'm getting a call from Hal. He call?
And there is a bunch of items to collect during this case too.
Iris startup.
So basically we have to go around threading the needle. I will say this.
Iris shut down.
Careful. There are
The first recording I do
Startup.
is where I get most of the
most
of the red cases and most of the collectible or all of the collectibles for this. And once we get to the point where we have to press the button,
Shut down.
I reset it to go back toward the
Iris
beginning of this to have some fun. And the reason why I'm going back now is because there is a chest here right in the front. One you can technically miss because if you're just focusing on the sneaking part of this mission, you will just miss it.
shut down.
Also started running and the guy didn't see me, but he heard me run. So do be careful about your running habits. Just move on forward because we knocked out the guard. And we get to get the rest of these, get more of these items. I do love the song that plays during the sneaking section though. Because just fits so well with what it's supposed to do. Very soothing, but also very suspenseful for what we're doing. Anyway.
A ladder, huh? It must be there for connections.
It's very funny that the whole point of this case is that we have to like turn off the water to go down the ladder because that's where the dam is and that's where we're supposed to go.
Iris shut down.
Technically, if we really wanted to just not speed up the process, but if we had a way to stop the water immediately, we could have gone down there ASAP. So, after doing that, we just get to go on forward to this part.
Shut down.
Grab this part of red matter. And if you remember, there was a chest here at the end of this hallway at the top of the stairs. And that houses another
Shut down.
security guard we have to deal with.
Iris
I just saw him turn around. I just noped out of there so we can just bind him so I can go grab the item. And it's very funny that the person that is there that we had to shoot the pipes down is the final guard we had to bind. So thematically, it just goes around. It's kind of cool, but kind of dumb. I don't know if you can do anything about like binding him immediately. If he just calls his people up, if you do or not, but I don't know. I've never attempted to just try to take him out. I don't think, even with all like the Legion chain upgrades you can put on your Legion, I don't think it's enough to grab him and wrap him around before you get spotted. Anyway, as you saw, there is a red spot on the ground there. Analyze that red spot, and there's a goddamn gate here. Yes, during the sneaking section for this case, there are 3 red cases to do. One of them is an Astral investigation where we have to go to the Astral arena to find a bunch of beast type chimeras. Very cool to do though. These mini wolf enemies, or these wolf enemies, are just not that bad. We fought a bunch of them before, especially since they're weak. I just took the one out that was weak near the death puddles just to get the health and just so he doesn't bother me. Grabbing the second one here. And also, since this case has its own music, during the fights, there's a unique theme with the fight theme that you've been hearing. it's really cool that this is like file 10 chapter 3. Chapter 3 has its own music for sneaking, but it also has its own music for fighting. It is very cool, and I actually do enjoy this music for the fight theme. So I don't know what the name of the song is though, but I love it. Round 2, we get to go deal with these the electric type power, the electric power, and the another mini wolf to deal with. The only reason the wolf is here is to howl to cause us damage and all that, while the big one here is just going to be the one doing the most damage. I think we're nearing the end of this, and I know this is one of the few cases my brother got a very funny clip in, where he did a frame perfect like chain bind into a chain jump, where I still can't remember to this day how he accomplished it. But once he did that, since the enemy was so low on HP, it got knocked off the map and never respawned. It was very funny. But that case down as an S+ in our belts. I was reading the guide at this point because, well, I literally almost forgot one thing in this case. So, basically we have to go across this guard again, since we missed it. We have to knock down another thing, but what I did is very stupid that it worked. I chain jumped across and he didn't see me. I had 34% on my thing. So, what I almost missed was a red case to do. To get this red case, you actually have to go back to where Olive is, towards the secret wall, to find the hideout. The hideout is another hermit's hideout, and this one actually does count for the hermit hideaway achievement. This is the last hermit's hideout in the game, and it's kind of well hidden. I do love that. Once you go into the thing, we just get bombarded with hermits, and well, we finally got the achievement of a who's who of hermit. That just means we found every hermit hideout in the game, and what a way to end off with just fighting. It's funnier that this hermit hideout has items for us, so if I didn't remember about this hermit hideout, we would have been missing a lot of items. So there was a chest, a dropped item in the original area, and a dropped item at the top of this pipe. This is one I actually kind of forget all the time when I do this case normally on my playthroughs. So do remember that there's a thing there. And onward is the rest of the hideout. And I try to get unscathed during the hideout where we had to subdue the hermits. I try to get unscathed to guarantee an S+ rank, because since there's no chimeras here, if you get hit, it stays like that. So this pipeline, this bunch of scaffolding does house a bunch of more hermit fights and a bunch more items to collect. So do be warned where you have to be careful. Very good call. And the second guy is here as well. First guy down. Second guy is just there, controlling a hermit drone. So the only way to knock him out is take him out. Very simple. The drone went down with him, so that's 2 hermits down. Onward we go towards more of the hermits and more items to collect. And I always try to keep my my legion on good old beast, so I can just howl. And as you saw, I got very lucky with my placement of iframes. The reason why I didn't get hit during the grabbing of the item is because I had the iframes to block it out. I didn't expect that to happen. I really didn't. But if you go under that pipe there after that second Legion fight, we go change up across towards these packs of items to do, and
Startup.
yeah.
Iris, shut down.
After that, we just got to move back towards the area. I know that I'm missing like one drop down, but I think I collected it on the way back after the final fight with the hermit leader here. But yep. As soon as you fight this guy, more hermits show up, so basically it's the perfect time to prog up blue shield and the spin cycle to keep enemies at bay and to just take out a bunch of these at the same time. Same thing with the crash bomb. 2 are down. We just need 3 more to go. I think that knocked out a third one. Or 2. Yeah, it knocked out the third one. And there we go. The hideout down. Very simple case to do with unscathed. So yeah, there's one chest here after the final fight with the hermits. You'll be able to grab that after the fight. Don't worry yourself about getting it. And now, since we're going back towards the beginning, we get to see the rest of the the hideout and our final item for this hideout. And that's the one I also always miss when I do this case, because it is kind of out of sight. Where if you walk back and look to your right, you'll see it, but onwards to your progression, you're going to be a little blindsided by just beating this case for an S+. But yeah, the final Hermit Slayer to find, or the final Hermit's Hideaway to find. And we got the achievement for a Who's Who of Hermits, which is finding every single Hermit Hideout. Which means the 2, I always say just technically the 2 in File 4 and 6 do count. But that's just me. We got the 1 and 2. We got the 1 in File 3, the 1 in File 4, the 1 in File 8, and the 1 in File 10. Very simple. Every even one had a Hermit's one, and I do think File 6 also gives you one with the actual Hermit's Hideout. Well, since we went away on that Hermit expedition, the enemies or the security guards that we have binded get unbound. And so we have to do that sneaky section all over again towards the front. But it does mean that the pipes that we shot down before are
Display. Iris,
back up for us to use to our advantage. So,
Iris, startup.
yeah.
Iris, shut down.
Just wait for that guard to go past. We get to go past him again. Don't run though. Don't be like me.
Iris, startup. Iris.
But yeah, go
shut
up
down.
the ladder, because we already got the chest and the case on our right. And we get to move on towards the second part of this expedition.
Careful. There's one of them at the top of that ladder.
Iris,
Don't
startup.
forget to use your iris.
Now that we're at this part, we get to move on towards another part of completion. This guard here is a pain in my ass every time I try to collect it. Because, well, to technically get this case, we have to go into this pipe here. But once we get into this pipe, we cannot get our Legion out, we can't bind. We have to wait until he turns around, starts walking the other direction, and then we can bind him. So, if you are stuck in this predicament, just wait until he walks away, then bind him, and then you can grab the chest.
Iris, shut down.
Now we get to move towards the,
Watch your step. There's a big group of officers below you.
now we get to move with the good old Arm Legion and all that. So there's a couple red metal we can collect here as well. And there actually is another keyword we can grab for this case. And it's actually very funny how to grab it. We just have to take our Arm Legion, move our platform towards the good area, and just chain jump off of it.
Iris, shut
Before going on that second one here, if you do walk forward and sneak, there are 2 officers at the top there that
shut down.
do give you a keyword, which I didn't know about this, like when I first played this, but I always skip this because I don't think it's necessary, especially since
Iris, shut down.
since we both know that you can just get them. You can bind them if you want, if you don't want to get the keyword, because if you talk to them, you get the keyword for using the, or you get the keywords for learning about that. If you turn off the power there, you get to put out the water and we can get to move on forward with the case. Now, hindsight for me is that you can just jump down there to grab the rest of the things, but
Shut down.
basically, we're not done with completion. We're not done with the item collecting yet. If you're trying to go over here to where these 3 officers are,
Wait, that's a dead end, so let's try a different route.
Olive would very much advise you to not go that way, since there are 3 officers. You can try to bind them all if you want. I didn't go for the hassle.
Iris, shut down.
Huh. Let's see where that officer just came from. Aha.
But yeah, basically this is the whole point, that if you didn't grab the keyword from the 2 officers from eavesdropping on them, you will know that you can just get to that part and turn off the water. This is actually the recommended way and the required way of getting through this chapter. I'm not joking, by the way. This is the required and recommended way of doing it. But I always do the funny way where I just jump off, dodge towards the top, and then walk in through the back. But if you do that way, you don't get the chest here, so... Take out that officer at the top as you saw before, and move forward with the case. There are a couple of red matter here, and actually there is a officer here that stops us from chain jumping towards that area. You do get enough clearance with the normal chain length of the Sword Legion to bind him. And if you do go that way, there is an item there you can collect. That officer here does not turn around, so you have to sneak towards his direction. But I didn't want to do that immediately, so I just went to here. Change up after that guy didn't see me, which he barely did. He started walking forward, so I went out of the pipe towards his direction to bind him. And this is near the end of this segment. Couple of matter here, go back into the pipe, and there is a drop item there. So don't forget this item. Now that we got it, we can go back towards that one officer that doesn't turn around, because surprise, surprise, there is another item in that area, which I'm reading from the guide right now. The only reason why I'm also reading the guide during this part is because since I'm trying to do the collection in one attempt, I don't want to come back here to do or to grab one item and try to get an S+. Try to grab everything you can for collection wise in your first attempt, or your second if you are needy like that. And then you can try to go for the S+ on your subsequent attempts. God, I can speak.
Information display.
Knock him out. We already got the item in the pipe. And now we just get to bind up this last officer with a couple red matter next to him. And the red matter removal has been collected. Also, just the right length for an auto bind. Climb up this ladder, walk to your right, and there is the final chest for this area. Very simple. I think that is every item we can collect for this case. Or for this case, for this chapter in general. We're only missing 2 more chests and 1 more dropped item, which are later in the case. So don't worry about that. Once we walk through here,
Great, you're in it.
we get the final part of this case where we have to
Those guards make it
bind
sound
both
like
of these
someone's
guards
supposed
to
be
hit
there.
the
So be
button
careful about
to
getting
lower the
caught.
water level, and we get to move on with the game. stated before, you can just wait for both of them to spawn in, get them both with a single auto bind, and
Iris, shut down.
hit the button. Lower the water level, and we get to move on with actually the rerun of this case, or the rerun of this chapter towards completion. So, after doing the collection, I just came back here towards the chapter progression, or towards like the chapter select, to do this case again for its completion. I will say this.
There are officers up ahead. Use your iris to
This is my
check
second
the
attempt at
officer's
recording
positions
this
before you head.
chapter
Can't take any
for the
chances.
completion, and I will say that this did take 3 attempts to do. 3. Because I missed the case.
A ladder, huh? It must be there for canal.
During this part of the case, I was going through it normally, trying to get through this as fast as I can, because I thought I got every single case. I did. So, I went here trying to do the case. I missed one case in my first attempt, and when I went to the end screen, I was like, what case was I missing? If you saw before that whole circle of red matter during my first attempt, during like the completion attempt of this, or during the second part of this,
Careful. There's one of them at the top of
that tells you that there
Don't
is
forget to use your iris.
a portal there to collect, and that is your only hint that there is a astral portal towards that,
Iris, shut down.
and that is the case I missed.
Watch your step. There's a big group of
So-
officers below you. They haven't noticed you're right over
Going
there.
through this, you just have to go through this as fast as you can. Yeah, you just have to get through this as fast as you can, because there is no way you can do all tied up or all wrapped up, because the 3 officers in that corner make that part kind of impossible. So how I usually do it is that I go here, I get there as fast as I can, and you try to Legion jump off the platform and just mash the B button as soon as you can to get to that top platform. Once you get there, you can wait for your heat to die down, and you can get into that area, bind the 2 officers to lower the water level, and you're done with this case. That's what works for me, and that's what I usually do to get through this segment. But as you saw, I didn't do that. I didn't mash B as soon as I landed on that part, so that flub was on me. But it gets even worse, in my opinion. Not because I get caught again, don't worry. I wouldn't show this attempt if I did get caught. But I got this one to work. Waited for my heat to die down. Waited for the officer to walk by. Just roll into the water level room. And just try to finish this case in style. But I don't know what happened next. I was very flabbergasted when I actually recorded this, which I think I did leave my my actual audio in it, so it's weird. It's very hard to explain with words, but you'll get to see in video before I even say anything. Said it before though, I was missing one of the cases, and after lowering the water level, you get to see what I mean. So we lower the water level, we get through this case again, we get through the final part. The final part of this is that we have to wrap up the final officer, and then we get to go down the stairs towards completion. And I do get that. I do bind this final officer here, but instead of going down the ladder,
Get into the canal. Okay.
Hi, Olive.
See you down below.
yeah, after you do that, the final case for this chapter is here, which is another Astral investigation, another Astral arena fight, with a new type of serpent. Say hello to Ladon. And I was here like when I read the guide for all of the cases, I was here wondering, because I know I had to fight a serpent enemy, and I knew I had to fight Ladon, and I was going back in my mind, back in like the guide, reading it, and I'm like, where the hell was this fight? Because I remember fighting this when I did completion, so it felt empty. It felt off that I didn't remember this one fight when I was doing the completion earlier. And then when I look back, I didn't walk this way. I didn't go towards the Astral, or where the Astral matter was. So that's why. And that just ruined the first recording. I still kept the first recording there because, well, it was completion. I just said, fuck it, I'll do it again during the second attempt. Like, I'll do a second attempt just to get through it fast and get it, put it in the ending, and then just get the final, get the final part of the case or the recording just for S pluses, and we'll be fine. And that's what I literally told myself. Like, I just literally said, fine, we'll do a second recording, we'll grab the one case that was missing just to show it. You can do your editing thing where you get to skip to this part. Because I was like literally thinking I wasn't gonna get an S plus on this because, well, 1, I got caught, 2, I thought I did it pretty slow, and 3, there is no way they're gonna give me an S plus after doing this case. The silence is deafening, isn't it? I'll just let my past self explain what the fuck happened, so take it away, me.
You know, I first met Brenda on the day Neuron was founded, and it was love at first sight. But, like, for friends. Of course, we couldn't be more different, personality-wise.
Well, it's the same fucking thing as Billy's past,
Maybe
then.
that's why. She's so smart, you know, and so together. She helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
While I was still getting used to the
So,
job. So now it's my
that's
turn to
how
help
it
her.
fucking worked.
We've got to get her
That
away
is
from
so
here.
dumb.
It's too late. Brenda
But yeah, the reason why
always had
you
to
saw like the video cut to another run where I took a picture of
keep
Olive,
moving.
that picture of Olive is for the photo order. The photo order in this is just that you just have to take a picture of Olive with the blaster mode on. So you get that during this part, or you can take it during where you have to keep her protected from the chimeras. The toilet here is where you get the toilet paper for this, and this is the rest of the case after my first attempt. Just to let you know. We get sandpaper, which... Ow. That I cannot imagine you using sandpaper as toilet paper. 100 grit, too.
Security's pretty thick here.
Anyway.
There's something wrong.
Now that we had Chimera Invasion, where we had to fight a bunch of aberrations,
That means Brenda's
so like
a danger, too.
redshifted police officers,
Not to worry. Even I can handle aberrations.
and chimeras from the toads that are coming down. Basically, you get an S plus. You just have to defend Olive as best you can, but also do this as fast as you can. So, have fun. Also, this case here is where you can do a bunch of like a bunch of the aberrations for the police officers. So if you're missing a bunch of them, just collect them. Now we get to go to the second part of this fight. Olive's AI is smart. I'll give it that, because most of the time, if she can't fight an enemy that is not an aberration, she'll probably just try to run away and try to stay out of harm's way, which is fucking great, especially since one of the achievements is to protect her. But that doesn't mean the spawn rates of the aberrations and all that are gonna be helpful to her. As you saw, it becomes kind of hard. So just do your best to protect Olive. Have fun with the aberration fight and all that. You'll be fine.
That looks like the last of them. Let's keep going.
Also, don't forget that there are red matter to collect here, and an item down there. So don't forget that one item here. That was the last trapped item we can collect for this area, and the final part of this Chimera invasion is against the ice frogs and Zeus and his fire frog. So I don't understand why it's Zeus for the fire frogs. But yeah, that's just me. Basically, these are just tiny frogs we can do, tiny or small ice frogs, small fire frogs to deal with. Grab them out. I know for me, one of the achievements in this game is to defeat I think it's 3 or more enemies in a row, and this is like the best like file or like best chapter to do it in, because those small enemies, if you're doing the spin cycle correctly, the bomb will blow up and they will immediately like be taken out. And you can't do Zangetsu. They have to just die from an explosion, from a grenade, or from your own attacks and stuff like that. So do be advised that if you do Zangetsu, you're doing the achievement incorrectly. So take out those two, and we are done with this Chimera invasion case. Very simple. Just keep all his HP very high. Defend as much as you can.
Looks like I honestly. Okay.
Now that Olive goes up ahead, she doesn't have to deal with the next part. Instead of going towards the direction Olive went, you go to the left, to the right. You see another chest here. That chest has a little secret for us. Open the chest, and then once we go back towards the area, that is where our gold slime is. So yeah, after grabbing that chest, the gold slime will appear, and he will book it towards the second area where we fought the mini Liases and the police aberrations. Simple to do, but this one is another annoying one because he just books it. So do take care of that one. That's the gold slime for this file as well, so have fun. I'm just reading the guide here, seeing if I'm missing anything else in this file. Technically, we're only missing one chest, and we get to have fun. So if you remember the case with this enemy here, we have to protect Olive. Basically, this case all just boils down to be patient, wait for your time to move, and if you think Olive's gonna get hit, put your Axe Legion to good use and protect the open areas. I use it all the time. Your best friend is literally the high guard of the gutters, or of the scaffolding.
Those things are vicious.
So yeah. Remember, at this point, this was a very close call for me because I actually had to move my Legion from that point because police aberrations are here as well. So do remember to protect Olive from these as well. Either beat them up from like two strikes of your Gladius, or if you want, just have your Axe Legion deal with them. You'll be fine. Just wait for him to shoot again. I do love his turbo design, though. I do love the enemy's turbo design. But yeah, nearing the end, we just have to go down the stairs again. Wait for the reload, have the Axe Legions protect Olive again. I wanted to grab those red matter with me, but I kind of foobarred it. I also didn't even collect it in the first place. I saw the red matter. I want to go back to grab it because I'm me. But now we just have to grab the Arm Legion, open up the gate, and we get to move on towards the fight for this. And if you remember back in the LP, I actually did the fight pretty simple. pretty easily, pretty fast, but yeah, your best bet for this fight is to do the fight fast. Also, the goddamn burst call that I have on my Axe Legion really knocked out the shield immediately. I did not expect that. Now the shield is gone, I just held it, and then we can go for the fun action. This fight is time-based, so get your syncs, get your attacks in, but try to beat the enemy here as fast as you can. Since this is a speed type enemy. Since he's designed after like engines and throttle and all that, he's all about that speed. So beat him as fast as you can. Your best friend's always hit rush to do chip damage from the back. How always stuns him, and you could just do a lot of damage with that. Simple fight to do, but really fast. There we go.
To take that thing out.
Now we get to have fun with the rest. We're only missing one chest in the area, and there's actually one chest that I technically missed because I didn't see it in the LP. But that was the only chest I'm missing, and that means everything has been collected for this game. I'm at 97 because I forgot to grab the collection of red matter near that one case. Excuse me. Yeah, my voice is getting a little shot. Anyway, in this little like hideout here, there are two chests here. One you can technically see, and the other one is right behind that chest. That is the final chest I missed. Makes sense that I would miss it because I didn't see behind me. But now we get to move on forward towards the final part of this case, the final chapter, if you're actually on the final chapter. And yeah, I have my gripes with this final chapter. But
Brenda,
no.
where are you? Brenda!
So
Ravens, stand down.
the whole point of plucking the ravens, like this case in general,
Hey, dismiss your legion now. Why?
be on your Beast Legion. Completely be on your Beast Legion and run away from the fight. You saw me do it back in the back in the LP where I had to do this normally.
What's gotten into you, Akira? These
Do note that every time your Beast Legion dodges, it takes away 10 from your limiter. And since we like are doing this fresh from the ending of
would block our path to the future.
yeah, like fresh from ending
I'll be quick about it.
the fight, we get a bunch of red matter with us and we can afford to do some of the auto dodging.
There's no
But if you are replaying this fight over and over and over again from chapter select,
So you've turned to
you only start off with 200. If you have max Legatus, it is 200.
self-relief.
Even less if you don't have your Legatus upgraded.
Effective, immediate.
So you have to make your dodges count.
We'll deal with
And if you ever see your Beast Legion's limiter down,
something I'd like to show
don't be afraid to call it out
you. Consider this my parting.
and just try to run away from your own foot. Second verse, same as the first. We just have to run away from the now unmasked Raven. And
No!
yeah, as I said, second verse, same as the first.
What are you doing?
We just have to run away from these Ravens to try to get the unscathed achievement.
Pawns go back in the box when they're captured, after all. All for the good of humankind. One day, you'll see.
No way. There's
Excuse me. Sorry for like no commentary. I'm just reading something.
be.
But yeah, I'm not like there's nothing else I can commentate about this though.
To the likes of you,
Because I mean, here's the thing: we're running away. We're literally doing our best to run the fuck away so we don't get damaged. If you remember, also in the LP, I stated that I just said fuck the Beast Legion, and we did this normally. You saw how much my ass got kicked.
That's it.
Now that we're at Akira Unchained, we do the same song and dance for the third time. Run away.
Sing from the Legion. Or maybe I should say,
You see how much fun we're having, guys?
when a Legion and the Legion are perfectly synchronized.
I will say this though, if you are redoing this fight over and over and over again for the S+, the only S+ that counts is the final one. Akira Unchained on the fourth one, where we fuse again with our Legion.
Legionis' body.
That is the only part that counts for this case. But that doesn't mean if you get hit before, it doesn't count. If you get hit before in the other fights, your unscathed goes away. Your unscathed goes away. Where the fuck did the list come from? Your unscathed goes away. So do be mindful of that, and that's why I've always just been hopping on my base legion and running the fuck away. Try to stay undamaged for the entirety of your helplessness, and once you get your sync rate together, you'll be able to have fun and be very careful. I will say that the trick I used back in File 9 where I quit the game and they always did an autosave for the game works for this one as well. So if you had a very good intro towards the cases before, do be advised that you can use that, you can abuse that fact to keep doing Akira's Unchained or Akira Unchained again and again to at least guarantee you getting a good fight with unscathed. Count 4 slashes to do damage. The full stun is really good, where you charge up the L trigger, the left trigger. If you really want to be ballsy, go for a 5th attack to do damage to that. And always try to maximize your way. Lock on is your best friend in this part, because if you hold down the R button and mash your right bumper and mash the right trigger, you'll be able to throw boomerangs like this. And if you don't lock on, you'll be unable to home in on your enemy. But if you have it locked on, you'll be able to do damage and you don't have to aim. So just have fun. And that is the final part of this. We still have to do the flashing lights with this part. I will probably still put a warning for this again. Even if it's like so late in, I still will have to put a flashing light warning again for this. Shoryu him, and that is the end of Akira Unchained as an S+. Be careful, because this case is annoying. But with that, we are done with File 10. One more case to go for completion, and we get to finish the entirety of the game. At least the second time for completion. So, 15 raid cases have been done. I think like 12 loot cases have been done as well. That is all. Next time on Astral Chain, we're gonna be completing the game entirely. At least base game. With File 11. The final case we have to do for this entire game. And then we get to move on towards Act 3, where you get to see what Act 3 is all about, and some more content from me in between Astral Chain, because I feel like most people are done with this. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you all for actually watching these contents, because I really didn't expect a lot of people to watch. Hope you all have a wonderful day.